My channel is 6 years old this May. Man, that's crazy. And the next year of making model railroad videos might be my most ambitious yet. Let's talk about it and see if my dreams, 2 layouts, a book, a second channel, can come true. It's time for the state of the DIY and digital railroad. My ultimate goal for this channel has changed since it began. I didn't really have a focus when I started other than here's some Arduino videos and some scenery videos. What I have discovered is that there is a gap in the model railroad media sphere. There are people who talk about model trains just as purely the trains, and people who are experts and work at the expert level. This is an amazing resource for all of us and brings everyone up in skill level. But what there wasn't was something to help people going from absolute novice to that intermediate level where you can dive in. I would get more and more messages as time went on from people saying they wanted to start and they needed help. So I decided to slowly pivot the channel to focus slowly more on those people who are needing help getting started in the hobby, in addition to my normal audience of the intermediate and expert level. This is actually really where Coffee and Trains came from and why it exists, to talk about the things that us longtime model railroaders take for granted, but a newbie probably doesn't know. This pivot has actually been pretty successful, and I'm really happy where it has taken the channel. Now, I am moving into phase 2 of this plan, and I'm going to talk more about that later. But first, let's talk about some of the stuff that's going to be coming up on the channel this year. Starting off with next week, I'm going to be featuring a new 3D scanner from Creality. It's called the Otter. It's this little guy right here. After their last scanner was kind of for model railroading, they wanted me to try this one. It's not even out yet, actually, but I'm going to try and scan myself and 3D print a little bitty me to put on a layout. So that should be pretty interesting. Now, the biggest thing this year is going to be the new layout. Here's a photo of phase 1 of the layout under construction in my garage. This is a T-track layout and will be built in multiple phases. I'm hoping to have phase 1 completed by August or September. This will include a town and an industry and a few cool other surprises. Now, this does mean that this layout behind me is going away, and I'm actually pretty sad about that. This layout has been my most successful, but it does have some problems that you may not see in my videos. Some of the grades have to be fixed. The turn to the bridge is not that great, especially for longer rolling stock, and there are some phantom dead spots that I cannot figure out to save my life. Seriously, I can't. Since I announced this, several of you have asked about buying this layout, and I will not be selling it. I actually plan to strip the layout and reuse as much of it as I can to save some money. That's actually one great thing about using Kato Unitrack is I can take it off and use it again so long as I'm careful. And I'm going to do an entire video on the stripping of that layout. Now, I said 2 layouts. That's because I am moving my layout out of my office back to the garage. This is for more space. I do want a small layout up here though, so I'm building a folding layout on this workbench. I'm not much further than that, but I promise it's going to be cool. I'm really excited about this. Also, some of you have subscribed to my second channel that I soft launched this past year, Jimmy's Trains. That is just me running trains, and I plan on releasing what I'm calling Season 2, which is really the hard launch of it, starting in May. These are just relaxing videos of trains running on my layout. Nothing fancy, no tutorials. I will probably release some mega compilations on the channel as well, just something to have on in the background while you're working on your trains. I will link that channel at the end of this video. I'm definitely working on some different things in different scales, including an O-gauge portable setup. I'm not sure what I'm going to do, but I think I have enough track and rolling stock and locomotives accumulated over the years to be able to build this fairly easily, so we'll have to see where that goes as well. Speaking of projects, a couple of other projects I'm looking at include my first 3D printed passenger cars, Lego trains, and an entire mini layout on a T-track triple module. Another thing I'm doing on the side is I'm developing a clinic about model railroading and YouTube. That way, if someone asks me to do one, which has been happening more often, I will have one ready to go. P.S. If you have asked me in the past about a clinic or coming to a show and I haven't responded, I am so sorry. It was not intentional. I am diagnosed ADD and things slip my mind on a regular basis. Model Railroad YouTube as a whole has its ebbs and flows. It is definitely bigger in the fall and winter, which means that this time of year is when I like to plan and try new things. This is where the phase 2 that I was talking about of my channel mission comes in. I want to start helping businesses that support our hobby. Now, one thing that advertising revenue from YouTube and Patreon has helped a ton with is me being able to do things like being a sponsor of a model train show for the first time. Thanks to you guys, I was able to sponsor a model train show in Hickory, North Carolina this past weekend. It was really cool, and I met a bunch of great people there while I was walking around. P.S. If you ever see me at a train show, say hey, I won't bite. The show is put on by the folks at the Newton Depot in Newton, North Carolina, which is where the Southeast Narrow Gauge and Shortline Museum is. It's a really, really cool little museum. Plus, they have an amazing model railroad setup, and I mean, it's amazing. Multiple scales, multiple layouts. It's really, really cool. Model railroading is a hobby full of cottage industries and small retailers that, bottom line, do not have the budget to do marketing campaigns like larger companies. This is where channels like mine come in. Some of the businesses are just an Etsy or eBay page, and that's it. In my career, I have seen and worked on advertising campaigns that span into the 6, 7, and 8-figure ranges. This has given me insight on what works and what doesn't in terms of marketing. I want to use that knowledge to help the model railroad community grow. So here is what I've decided. Based on some feedback from manufacturers, I know that when a product is featured on my channel, there is a bump in website traffic and sales. It's not a ton, but it is something. I will be introducing a tiered advertising system that will allow model railroad businesses of any size to gain exposure. This is because one of the tiers of that advertising system will be totally free. I am taking a rising tide raises all boats approach to this. There will be paid tiers for priority and video placement and timing, but the free tier will allow anyone to get the word out about their model railroad business. I'm still working out the kinks, and I am reaching out to a few businesses I know to pilot this, but you may start seeing things from various model railroad businesses. The free and low-cost tiers will not be available to non-model railroad businesses. This is designed to help the hobby, not for me to make a quick buck. All of this, and I mean all of it, from the layout build videos to the free advertising I can offer, is possible because of you guys. YouTube ad revenue is great, but what really allows me to make a budget and plan for stuff are my patrons on Patreon. 100% of that money goes right back into the channel, I mean after taxes, to make videos and run the channel. I have a link in the description if you want to check it out. You can join for just $1 a month. Higher tiers offer things like ad-free videos and a 3D printable model each month. Now, I know that some of you don't want to start another account but may want to support the channel. This is why soon I'll be introducing a 99 cents a month channel membership that gets you some cool flair and emojis for your comments on the video. Now, I want to be clear. I will never put any of my videos that you're used to seeing behind a paywall. You will always be able to watch the videos totally for free on YouTube. These are just ways you can support the channel if you want, and I can keep making videos and continue the mission of making the family-friendly hobby of model railroading more accessible to more people. So these are some of the things that I will and may be going on over the next year on my channel. Some of these things are definitely happening, and some may never happen. We'll just have to wait and see. Oh yeah, I totally forgot. I said a book. I am considering making a book out of all my train games that I do for simplified operations. We'll see how that goes. I actually have some more games coming out soon in a video, so you'll definitely have to check that out. Thank you all so much for watching, and from the bottom of my heart, thank you for all the support you have given me. It allows me to continue to make these model railroad videos because, again, I do this on the side. This is not something I am doing just to make money. This is something that I'm doing to help support the hobby of model railroading and all of its facets. So truly, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for watching. Thank you for your support. Until next time, I'm Jimmy from the DIY and Digital. Stay safe, be kind, and happy railroading.